everyone. Nice to see you again. It's been a while since we've done one of these, but we wanted to get back on here, and today we're going to talk about sleep, but in particular how it helps with weight loss.
Yeah, and the real reason, well, part of the reason is why we've just decided that we're just gonna, because we have these things. I mean, we geek out all day long, and we should probably, if we had somebody follow us all day long, they'd be like, because we're nonstop talking about weird stuff, and it's all amazing. But anyways, I had to wait up for my daughter to get home from her concert, and she didn't get home from till like 12:30. Usually, I'm in bed by like 9:30, so that was torture for me. Plus waiting for her. And so then when she gets home, then it's not just everybody goes straight to bed, and then she had to settle down. So we all didn't get into bed till about 1:00. The next day, the reason I'm telling you this is because the next day, I automatically wake up at like 6:30, and I was like a weirdo. I'm talking about like a little gremlin walking around all my house. Like at work, I was like, I ate cookies for breakfast. I was eating this licorice stuff. I mean, I was looking for everything, but it's because my cortisol was jacked up because I hadn't slept. And so I literally, and the other part is you need to get that shit out of your house. Like, because you never know when it's going to happen. And if you don't want to eat it, get it out. Like, I'm gluten-free, so I always try to have like a gluten-free treat, but not when you eat all the gluten-free treats. So I just didn't have just one because I couldn't control myself because I was literally like, looking for I was looking to satisfy that deprivation of sleep that I'd had, that my cortisol was raised, and you can't even help it. Like it was weird, and I was like, holy shit, we need to talk about this because I want you guys to know how we want to help you guys realize how important sleep is.
Yeah.
Like really important.
Yeah, and it's like a lot of people, they try, they think, oh, I need to work out hard, I need to eat less, but sleep is your main foundation, and if that is not in check, then it's kind of like going against the tide. Like you're just going to hit a wall and we're going to go into the science of what happens to your body when you don't sleep, but if you don't have that solid foundation, it's like you have to give yourself some grace. Like if you're not sleeping, your hunger is going to go up, your satiety hormones are going to deplete themselves, and it's just it's goes against you. So yeah,
it's not good, ladies and men.
So to get into what happens when you're sleep deprived, so say you don't get a good amount of sleep, and everybody's slightly different. Actually, it's been known that women need a little more sleep than men. I need like a good solid 8 to 9 hours. That's where I feel best. Men might need a tiny bit less, like around 7 to 8. But if you don't hit that, what happens is ghrelin increases. That's a hunger hormone. So it's signaling to your brain when you're hungry. So that increases, making you actually feel like you're hungrier. And so you tend to overeat when you don't sleep.
And a good way to think of that is we think of like gremlin, like a little gremlin. So ghrelin, I think of gremlin, like I want to eat everything like a little gremlin. Yeah, it's just a good little thing. You're like, because there's so many weird words.
Yeah.
You're like leptin, ghrelin, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, ghrelin.
And then another one is leptin. And so that actually does the opposite. It actually tells your brain, I'm full, we don't need any more. So that decreases. So again, you have those two hormones that are out of balance because of the lack of sleep, and then you tend to overeat. And it's not like we want to overeat broccoli. We want to overeat the not great foods, like the sugary foods, carbs, pizza, all that stuff. That's what we tend to crave.
Yeah. And so like cortisol, which we talk about cortisol a lot, but cortisol is, but if you sleep well, then you can at least set yourself up for success the next day. If you do have stress or you do have cortisol, you do have your spikes. Sleep is so important. So what happens is it spikes your insulin, and then and everything is just out of whack. So, and on the daily, we are already bombarded with stress. So I feel like we just have to set ourselves up for success. And and really it does make a difference on how you go to bed and how you wake up. And we'll go into that too.
Yeah, and increased cortisol, when it keeps being increased, and so that's the lack of sleep, but it's also just day-to-day stress management. That's very important, because when you don't get your cortisol in check, like everybody's talking about it now, you have cortisol face, cortisol belly, you do pack around the pounds around your belly section because your body's trying to protect it from the toxins around your organs. And so if you're wondering like, gosh, like why can't I get past this certain hump, or why can't I get rid of this belly fat? Like, I know it's annoying to hear, but sleep and stress management are going to be like your two big hitters.
Yeah, and I will say, like, I don't want to say, okay, you know what, we're going to just shut our emotions off and go straight to sleep. Because there's been so many nights that when, you know, even when you have little kids, you know, you have a mom, like you mom sleep. And that means like, you're like, okay, they're crying at 4 a.m. in the morning, or they're crying at 2 a.m. or like, you basically, you'll probably never sleep again, like ever. So we just have to accept it. But you, if you can set yourself up, like, and we'll go into that, so I don't want to go on a tangent, but if you set yourself up for it at night, when you're feeling good, like I have all the stuff by my bed when I'm feeling good, so then there's no chance of a mess up. I just know what to do. And your body also creates a habit. So then your neural pathways already create that, so you automatically know what to do.
And that's a good point too, because if you are in a point of your life where, you know, you have babies or whatever's going on and you can't get sleep, like that's actually a time too to give yourself grace. Sometimes it's actually counterintuitive, because you might think maybe you didn't get sleep the night before and you think, gosh, I just need to push myself. I just need to like go do that HIIT workout. Actually, what might serve you best is taking a nap when your little one is sleeping. So just think about it in that context too. Don't beat yourself up, because sleep is so important. If you're like getting down on yourself, like, gosh, why am I overeating? Why don't I have the energy to do this workout? Because your body's saying, girl, we need to sleep.
And actually it will cause more stress.
Yes.
So you'll actually get inflamed, and your body will think that the bear is chasing you. And that, which is when the bear is chasing you, even though it's not, that is when the cortisol, that's when we basically, you can think of it as like your body's trying to protect itself from the bear, right? So it's just going to put a barrier around the bear, so the bear can't get you. It's just I always make these little things up in my head to help me remember.
Yeah.
It's always been successful.
And then lastly, another thing that happens with your body is you become more insulin sensitive. So we all know in this day and age, blood sugar is all the rage. This is what we're talking about. So if you want to help manage your blood sugar, sleep actually plays a vital role in it. And so when you don't sleep, because like we said prior about those hormones being out of whack, you're overeating. Your brain is not telling yourself you're full, so you're going to keep going, and you tend to overindulge on not great foods, junk foods. And then also you're more sensitive to insulin spikes. And so the thing is we want our blood sugar to be leveled. When we're constantly having these blood sugar spikes, that's going to impact our liver, and our body's going to try to protect itself and start packing on fat to protect your organs. And so that leads to weight gain in itself. So just to recap what we just talked about, sleep is important. What happens when you don't sleep is it increases ghrelin, makes you more hungry. It reduces leptin, which signals to your brain that you're full, so again, makes you overeat. It skyrockets cortisol, which messes up and makes you feel way more stressed. And then it affects insulin sensitivity. And so this is part 1 of this series. We wanted to give you this information just so you know, like, so you have an understanding. Everyone's always like, sleep is important, sleep is important. But sometimes it doesn't really drive it home if you don't know what's going on in your body. And everybody, I feel like so many people are on a weight loss journey. And so it's just something that isn't talked about much. Like, we're always talking about the food piece and we're always talking about the working out piece, but like if you don't have this in check, then the rest are going to be very difficult for you.
And they're just always saying you just need to sleep. Well, okay, well, what does that even mean, right? Okay, I just turn the world off at 10 o'clock. That's not how it works. That's not real life, and and especially in the life that we're in now. So we just wanted to give that for you, and we are in the next episode. We are going to talk about how to do it.
Yeah, how to optimize your sleep, things that are our favorites, and just a good routine that you can start practicing to set yourself up for success for better sleep. And yeah, so we actually have a PDF that has all this information in it, and then it also has the information on kind of like a better sleep protocol. So if you're interested in that, comment sleep down below and we will send that to you.
Yeah, and happy sleeping, everyone.
Happy sleeping!